Want me to hold?
You sure?
Yeah.
Thanks, JJ.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Say and spell your first and last name again.
Okay, Amanda, Capen.
And so, just like you were talking, you've known Casey and the girlfriend since you guys were kids.
Yes, I've known Casey since I was 8 years old, and I've known Natalie since 6th grade. I went to school with both of them. Casey basically lived at my house as a kid. He was slumber party sleepovers all the time.
And you said that when this happened, he was ready to be a dad. He was happy about all this. This was an accident.
Yes. Casey made a mistake. Casey did not intentionally mean for any of this to happen. I mean, everybody makes choices and does things, and with addiction, it's hard to kick, and sometimes life just knocks you down and you relapse, and I think that's what happened. And you know, between both of them taking it, her being so weak and pregnant, I think it hit her a lot harder, or maybe she did more than he did. And I mean, I know he might have gotten it to just make her happy. You know, maybe she was just ready. She was excited to be a mom and stuff too. So. And
you were saying that the conversation they had a couple of days before, that she was restless and she wanted to have this baby out.
Yes.
And she said she was tired of being.
Yes. You know, the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks of your pregnancy, you're just like, oh, I want the baby out. I want to meet the baby. She was anxious. She wanted to have the baby. She, you know, just wanted to start her life being a mom and getting on with it. We had plans after she had the baby and healed up. I was going to take her out. We were going to go out to the club and drink and have fun and just, you know, she could let loose for a little bit, and she didn't make it to that point.
They were living here with you all, right?
Yes.
Were you here at the time when this happened?
No, I was at work. I rushed home from work when I found out. I just talked to Casey at 7:01 p.m. and I got the news at 7:35 p.m. and Casey was fine. I heard Natalie in the background. She was yelling at my daughter because she was getting into something, and she seemed fine. He seemed fine. And within that time frame, everything just went downhill. And when I got here, they were doing CPR, and you could tell by the way she looked that it was bad.
How was he when you got here?
He was freaking out. He was freaking out. And then I asked the officers if I was able to give him a hug and stuff before they took him. They put him in handcuffs. They let me give him a hug. He didn't say a word. He just put his head into my shoulder and started sobbing. When he called me from jail, he was crying. He said he just wanted to see what his son looked like, and they wouldn't let him see the baby, and he just wanted one look just to see what his son was going to look like. He wanted to get his reassurance. He told me that he never even got to tell her he loved her. You know, he was really upset about it, and he's like, I didn't even get to say that I loved her, and he never got to hold the baby, and he's a mess. He's going to be mentally messed up from this for the rest of his life, and he's going to have to pay for it. You know, he got it, he brought it here, and they did it.
You said that they had already come up with the baby name and stuff like that?
Yes, they were going to name him Sean, and she wanted it spelled S-H-A-W-N because she said S-E-A-N sounded silly. So they were going to name him Sean, and they also talked about naming him Casey Jr., but she was a little iffy about that. She's like, come on, she already has a son named after the father. So she's like, you know, they don't want to do that again. So they had, you know, thrown a toss-up between there, but Sean was winning.
Do you know when she was scheduled to go to the hospital for her baby?
She had an appointment today that she was scheduled for to set up her C-section date.
So
she was supposed to have him at the end of this month.
What are you feeling right now? I see your tears.
I'm sort of still shocked about it all. I don't know why they did it or why it happened. I wish I could have been here to stop or at least try CPR, because I don't know how long she was out for. Maybe if somebody was here that knew CPR, could have at least saved her, or maybe even the baby.
And she hadn't been doing drugs throughout the pregnancy, right?
No, when she moved down here, she wasn't smoking, she wasn't drinking, she wasn't, not even cigarettes, just nothing. She was completely sober, and she ate a lot of food. Hot chocolate was, I always went to 7-Eleven and got her hot chocolate. You know, I'd rub her feet for her. I felt the baby move almost every day.
Was this their first child?
Their first child together, yes. She has a 7-year-old son that's in New Hampshire who, you know, she left behind.
They said they had faced their demons in the past, kind of, over.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know, she was a great person. She was really shy and quiet and happy and loving. You know, she'd help out anybody she could, and it was really sad what happened.
What did she all have planned to do with the baby when it would have been here?
Well, I told her that I definitely needed baby cuddles because I have baby fever, and I was really excited myself. And they were going to stay here until they got up on their feet and got into their own place, which I told them about the resources around here that could help them do that. And I helped her get some baby things that she needed, and their plan was to just have the baby get their own place. And you know, I was getting a new vehicle at the beginning of the year. I told them they could have this one, and you know, they were planning a life and a future with their son, to be a family. They were playful with each other. I mean, they had fights and spicker spatters like every couple does, but there were so many times where they were just like laughing and giggling and having tickle fights and stuff on the couch. You know, it's like the new love stage, but they were in it a lot.